Before fame ever entered his life, Rowan Atkinson's world was defined by quiet routines and unspoken expectations. Born on January 6, 1955, on a farm in County Durham, England, he grew up surrounded by open fields, structure, and a strong emphasis on discipline. He was the youngest of 4 sons, raised by parents who valued education, emotional restraint, and hard work. A tragedy shaped the family early when one brother died in infancy, a loss that was rarely discussed but deeply felt. The household moved forward with resilience rather than sentimentality, and young Rowan learned early to observe more than speak. Outwardly, his upbringing appeared stable and secure, yet inwardly, he was already forming a deep sense of self-awareness. This early environment taught him control and patience, qualities that would later define his performances, even as they masked private struggles few could see. A voice that would not obey. At around 5 years old, Rowan developed a severe stutter that quickly became a defining challenge of his childhood. Speaking felt unpredictable and exhausting, as words often refused to come out smoothly. Simple interactions in school became stressful, and reading aloud or answering questions filled him with dread. Classmates noticed, and what began as curiosity soon turned into ridicule. Teasing grew into persistent mockery, leaving Rowan isolated and self-conscious. He was labeled as strange, not for his behavior, but for his difficulty communicating. Teachers struggled to help, and well-meaning encouragement often made things worse by drawing attention to the problem. Over time, Rowan learned to retreat inward, choosing silence over embarrassment. This period planted seeds of doubt that would linger for decades. Yet it also sharpened his observational skills, teaching him to read expressions, timing, and emotion without relying on words. Finding freedom in performance. Something remarkable happened whenever Rowan stepped into a performance setting. On stage, playing a role, his stutter eased dramatically, sometimes disappearing altogether. The anxiety that haunted everyday conversation loosened its grip when he was no longer speaking as himself. Acting created a protective distance, allowing him to communicate through character rather than vulnerability. Performance was not about attention or applause, it was relief. In those moments, he was judged on timing and expression, not fluency. This realization became transformative. Acting offered structure and control, replacing fear with focus. Instead of avoiding attention, he could command it on his own terms. The stage became a space where his limitations did not define him. Slowly, Rowan began to understand that his challenges did not disappear when hidden, but they could be reshaped into something purposeful, even powerful, when approached creatively. Excellence on paper, uncertainty in purpose. Academically, Rowan thrived. He showed particular talent in mathematics and science, areas that rewarded precision and logic. He attended Newcastle University, studying electrical and electronic engineering, and graduated in 1975. To those around him, his path seemed clear and sensible. Engineering offered stability, respect, and predictability, everything comedy did not. Even Rowan himself believed this was likely his future. Performance felt like a private outlet rather than a career ambition. Yet despite academic success, something felt incomplete. The pull toward creativity never fully faded. While equations and research occupied his days, performance quietly occupied his imagination. He had not yet reconciled these two sides of himself, but the tension between them was growing. His success in structured environments masked a deeper question: whether a life built solely on safety could truly satisfy him. Oxford and the awakening of comedy. Rowan's move to Oxford for postgraduate study marked a turning point. The intellectual rigor remained, but so did new opportunities for creative expression. He joined the university's drama society and student review groups, environments that valued experimentation and originality. On stage, classmates witnessed a striking transformation. the reserved engineering student became confident, precise, and fearless in performance. It was here that Rowan met writer Richard Curtis, beginning a partnership that would shape British comedy for decades. At Oxford, Rowan refined a style rooted in observation rather than chatter. Influenced by classic physical comedians, he explored silence, movement, and facial expression with meticulous care. Comedy became less about jokes and more about control. For the first time, Rowan saw a possible future where intellect and performance could coexist rather than compete. Early struggles and uncertain breakthroughs. Leaving university did not bring immediate success. Rowan faced rejection from broadcasters who struggled to categorize his unconventional style. Auditions were stressful, often reigniting his speech difficulties. For a time, he seriously considered abandoning performance altogether. Yet small opportunities began to appear. A BBC radio project allowed him to play multiple characters, quietly showcasing his range. At the Edinburgh Festival Fringe, his largely physical performances divided audiences. Some were confused, others intrigued. Crucially, industry figures noticed the discipline beneath the oddity. Rowan realized that characters were his shield. When he disappeared into them, anxiety receded. Rather than fighting his limitations, he leaned into them, crafting personas so complete that his own insecurities faded into the background. Progress was slow, but persistence replaced doubt, and momentum began to build. Success, pressure, and reinvention. When major television success finally arrived, it was not immediate or effortless. Early reception was mixed, and criticism was harsh. Yet belief from a few key supporters kept projects alive long enough for audiences to catch up. As recognition grew, so did pressure. Rowan's perfectionism demanded constant refinement, long hours, and emotional investment. Success brought admiration, but also exhaustion. Instead of repeating himself, Rowan chose reinvention. He co-created a historical sitcom that initially struggled but was later reworked into a streamlined, highly successful format. This willingness to adapt rather than retreat became a defining trait. Comedy, for Rowan, was not comfort but challenge. Each reinvention was a risk, taken not out of restlessness, but necessity. He understood that stagnation would be far more damaging than failure. Global fame and the weight of silence. The creation of his nearly silent, universally recognizable character turned Rowan into a global icon. The role relied almost entirely on physical expression, transcending language and culture. Audiences worldwide embraced it instantly. Ironically, the character mirrored Rowan's lifelong relationship with speech, proving that silence could be louder than words. Yet the role was physically and emotionally demanding. Each performance required extreme precision and control, leaving Rowan drained. While the world laughed, he carried the weight of expectation privately. Over time, he scaled back, choosing sustainability over constant visibility. Animated adaptations and occasional appearances allowed him to maintain the character without sacrificing well-being. Fame brought validation, but also reinforced his habit of hiding behind performance, a pattern rooted deep in childhood. A quiet, human legacy. Beyond comedy, Rowan Atkinson's life reveals quiet courage and complexity. He has spoken thoughtfully about free expression, acted decisively in moments of real-world crisis, and maintained a largely private personal life despite public scrutiny. Even with awards and global admiration, he has openly admitted to lingering self-doubt. Success did not erase insecurity, it simply reframed it. As he entered his 70s, Rowan appeared less concerned with legacy than with balance. His story is not about conquering fear, but learning to live alongside it. He did not eliminate his stutter. He adapted. He did not silence doubt. He worked through it. By transforming vulnerability into art, Rowan Atkinson created laughter that feels effortless, even though it never was. That quiet resilience is his true legacy.